And Paul, this brings back some kind of eerie memories
all too familiar
of that orange area. And you think there's no way we're going to be impacted by those fires in Canada, but yet, oh, yes, we could.
Yeah, the U.S. will. East of the Rocky Mountains is where that air tends to get funneled down. So the eastern 2/3 of the country is going to be in for potentially another smoky summer like they had last summer.
Wow.
Around here, we'll try to put off fire season for as long as possible.
No question.
We will start with the air quality problems in other parts of the country, and then we'll return to the Bay Area's forecast. The air quality map, and this is from IQAir.com, which does a good job of aggregating all of the sensors across the entire country. And you can see this plume of smoke. We're looking at the upper Midwest. You can see the Great Lakes there, all the way down into the southern plains, and all of these yellow and orange indicators indicate the decreased air quality. Not as bad as it was yesterday, but that smoke continues to make a southern intrusion farther and farther down into the central U.S. And things are not going to improve rapidly because those fires are still burning in British Columbia and Alberta. And whenever the winds direct that smoke down into the northern half of the United States, the air quality is going to deteriorate. So you can track that as we go through the next several days. Of course, the most densely concentrated smoke is in the vicinity of those fires, which aren't new fires. These are we call holdover or zombie fires that continue to smolder underground during the cold winter months. And then as soon as the atmosphere becomes dry and the winds pick up, those fires emerge above ground and begin to produce copious amounts of smoke once again. Just another thing that we can thank the impact of climate change for, because this is really in the midst of significant drought conditions in Canada, and those fires will continue to burn for the foreseeable future. Let's take a look at the big picture pattern around the Bay Area. Very small day-to-day changes in store for us. Offshore winds in the upper levels of the atmosphere, but not at ground level, so we get the cooler conditions along the coast, and there is the fog hanging out just behind the buildings downtown San Francisco. Temperatures are in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. Typical May conditions across the Bay Area, anywhere from 57 in San Francisco to 80 degrees right now in Livermore. Let's take a look at the fog as we head through the rest of tonight after we check out the forecast for the Giants game as they take on that team from down south. Temperatures in the upper 50s at game time. It's going to be cool to begin with, and cooling off even more as we head through the rest of this evening, down to the low 50s by 10 o'clock. And the fog is going to be spreading out. Here it is on Futurecast. The fog showing up in the bright white, with other clouds farther up in the atmosphere showing up in that duller shade of gray. You can see it's going to push well into the inland valleys by early tomorrow morning, and then retreating from those inland valleys as we head towards mid-late morning all the way to the coast by late morning and early afternoon. Maybe an hour or two of daylight along the coast, or sunlight along the coast during the daylight hours. We're not going to see much more than that, though. Temperatures tonight dropping down to the low to mid 50s in most locations, just the coolest spots dipping into the upper 40s, part of the influence of that layer of low cloud cover and fog. Temperatures are going to be warmest in the Santa Clara Valley and down the peninsula. Those downslope winds from the southwest are going to warm up to a greater extent, so low 80s there. Temperatures flirting with 80 degrees inland in the East Bay. The temperatures, of course, along the coast aren't going to be nearly as warm. So you go from 80 degrees in Redwood City to only 60 degrees for Half Moon Bay, and even that might be optimistic. Mid-60s in San Francisco, close to 70 degrees in Oakland. That's not bad for this time of year, with temperatures in the North Bay not quite as warm as other inland parts of the Bay Area, because that fog and low cloud cover is going to hang on just a little bit longer. The winds aren't going to change a whole lot in terms of direction, just straight out of the southwest. That onshore breeze is going to be with us for a while. The same pattern will repeat itself with the lightest winds in the late night and early morning hours, and then picking up with some 20 to 30 mile an hour gusts during the afternoon, and still distributing a decent amount of pollen across the Bay Area in the medium category for the next several days, all the way into the first half of the weekend. Let's take a look at the 7-day forecast, and we'll start inland, where the warm weather, or at least mild weather, is going to be sticking around. A little bit of a cool down by early next week, but we're only talking about a 6-degree difference between the coolest day and the warmest day in the 7-day forecast, and that range is even narrower as you make your way to Bayside locations, where it's only a 5-degree difference between the warmest day tomorrow and the coolest day on Monday. The morning cloud cover giving way to plenty of sunshine around the bay, but the clouds are going to be tough to shake. The May gray keeping things cool, and if you thought that 6-degree difference wasn't much, only a 2-degree difference between the warmest day and the coolest day for coastal parts of the Bay Area. Just a very consistent mid-May forecast. Not a lot of change over the next 7 to 10 days as we get closer to Memorial Day weekend.